Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live commentary here on the Sports Daily Media Network YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sean Vowells, today, and tonight we've got the UConn Huskies going down about an hour and a half to the world's most famous arena at Madison Square Garden. UConn, and those records are not right. I'm sorry. Let me fix those. UConn at top of the Big East, 12-0 and 22-1 overall, and St. John's in second at 10-1 in the Big East and 17-5 overall. 22-1, 12-0. This is the first meeting between the two teams this year. The next meeting in stores will be February 25th on Peacock, but tonight it is 8 o'clock on Fox. If you want to watch and follow along with me, that would be great. Coming into this one, UConn is coming off of back-to-back pretty big wins in the Big East. There was a while there where they were really getting dragged into some close games against teams that have no business playing close games with them. But they go to Omaha, they crush Creighton, and then they take care of business against Xavier on Tuesday. And now for St. John's, they're coming in after a road win against DePaul. They beat Butler, they beat Xavier. They have started to put together a long win streak since that loss against Providence on January 3rd at home. In terms of NCAA tournament, this is St. John's best chance for a big win until the next time that they play UConn. They are sort of teetering around the 7-8 line right now. Potentially maybe at the last spot on the 6 line. But they need a resume victory here to pull them a little bit closer to the protected seeds rather than down to the bubble, because they do play a lot of really games with nothing to win here in the Big East, where nobody bats an eye if they win by 20, but they could get dragged down to the bubble with a loss. And then in terms of UConn, they currently occupy the last one seed for me at 22-1, the only loss being to number 1 Arizona. And they're starting to build their resume as well. In terms of a 1 seed, they might have to win the rest of the games the rest of the way. The 5 overall seed is right on their tail, and the 6 is not far behind. So for UConn, they might have to run the table in the Big East to get that 1 seed. But in terms of this one, UConn has come in as a very slight favorite on the road, -1.5. It's not a very long journey down from stores to the Garden, especially for a Friday night. And UConn plays a lot of games there. They play the Big East tournament there every year, and they always have a huge fan advantage. So expect this one to be, pretty even in terms of the fans. And, it should be a really good one here. Could be either way. It's a standalone game here on Friday night, which is why we are going to announce it here on the YouTube. And before they come back, be updating the score on the Excel here. It's just the way that I have to do it. If I do the screen grab from ESPN, it's ahead of me watching it on YouTube TV, so that doesn't do any good. There are no surprises in the starting lineup for either team. It's Ejiofor, Hopkins, Mitchell, Jackson, and Sellers for the Red Storm, and Reed, Caravan, Mullins, Demery, and Ball for UConn. Both do play at least 4, maybe 5 off their bench, so it is not some of the shorter rotations that we see in the game today. Some teams don't even go more than 1 or 2 off the bench, but not the case here in the Big East. This will be a big one here. And looks like Allison Williams is talking to Rick Pitino. It's his 3rd season in charge of St. John's. After the first season where they were narrowly left out of the tournament, they do get themselves a 2 seed last year, but then get bounced in the round of 32 to John Calipari in Arkansas. So they'll be looking to do a little bit better in the tournament this time around. And it would be awfully easier if they could win this game today. But we'll see what they can do. Seems like tip is coming any minute now. Dan Hurley, 8th season at UConn. He's won 18 straight games after winning 2 national titles last year. They did struggle a little bit more, and they also lost in the round of 32. So let's do it here, and St. John's controls the opening tip. And Ejiofor has it. Now it's Hopkins. Hopkins trying to look for Ejiofor down low to Terrace Reed. They're going to clear out for Ejiofor here. Ejiofor spins, shoots it up, and it's no good, but St. John's gets the rebound. Back down to Ejiofor again. Ejiofor dribbling, and it's blocked by Terrace Reed, and then he is fouled. So a stout defensive opening possession from the Huskies and Terrace Reed. Walls up nicely on the first shot, and then gets a piece of the second one. So it'll be UConn ball out of bounds. That is the first foul on St. John's. And the Red Storm are going to pick up full court. Might get tired of me saying that. And it's going to be a moving screen on solo ball. So you do see that more and more now in today's game with this little dribble handoff. And yeah, I mean, he just runs right into the defender. That is the letter of the law. And it's probably going to be called more times than not. Dan Hurley certainly doesn't like that, but it is what it is. See if St. John's can open the scoring here. It's a great pass to Hopkins underneath, and they're going to get Caravan with the foul. So 3 early fouls in this one before we even get to the first minute of gameplay. And they go to Dylan Mitchell underneath, and Dylan Mitchell lays it up and in. Strong finish there by the Cincinnati transfer, and St. John's takes a 2-0 lead. Demery's driving here, and Silas Demery, jump stop. Caravan, Mullins, ball. Terrace Reed, inside Terrace Reed, shot is blocked, no good. He gets his own rebound, flips it up again, and he gets the roll. So Terrace Reed opens the scoring for UConn. And now Hopkins on the drive. Ooh, maybe he got away with a walk there. Kicks it out to Ian Jackson for 3. That's no good. And the ball goes out of bounds. Caravan unable to corral it. And they're showing the replay of the Dylan Mitchell move there. That might be a matchup on Braylon Mullins that they do try and exploit. Jackson to Ejiofor, who lays it to Mitchell, who throws it down. And St. John's takes a 4-2 lead. And a clear breakdown there by UConn. It's the easiest basket that they are going to get all year. Now, Demery misses the layup, and here comes the Red Storm. Ian Jackson kicks it to the corner for 3. Sellers, no good, but rebound by Mitchell. Fires it out to Jackson. Jackson on the drive. He tries to throw it down, but he is fouled. So that is a quick 3 fouls on UConn. 1 on Ball, 1 on Caravan, 1 on Terrace Reed. But it seems like St. John's is the team playing with energy right now. And it'll be 2 free throws for Ian Jackson, the North Carolina transfer. And the first one is good. Make that 5-2. And 2 for 2 for Ian Jackson. So a solid start to this one for St. John's. And they're going to pick up full court. Now Mullins, real high ball screen defense. Caravan for 3. It's pure. So St. John's brings the defense out, and UConn hits him with a pick and pop, and Caravan knocks down the 3. So it's 6-5 St. John's. And they're going to get Ejiofor on this moving screen DHO. See, they're going to show the Caravan replay here, but yep, Ejiofor doesn't like it, but they got UConn with one earlier. And yeah, I mean, that is probably the right call. They are not letting things go. They've got a tight whistle so far. 5 fouls, and we have not even hit the first media timeout. Now, Demery has it. It's a wide open Braylon Mullins, but they're going to go back to solo ball for 3. That's no good. But Demery gets the offensive rebound. Mullins is going to throw one up, too, and it's good. So Braylon Mullins from downtown. UConn lead 8-6. So Mitchell now with the crossover, and Dylan Mitchell to the hoop. Easy as you like off the window. He takes Braylon Mullins off the bounce. And that is an easy layup to tie the game at 8. And Ian Jackson is going to be called for the reaching foul here on Demery. So that is St. John's third foul. So both teams with 3 fouls already. Nice move there by Dylan Mitchell. And you have to wonder if Dan Hurley is thinking about changing that matchup already. Because Braylon Mullins has not shown that he can guard Dylan Mitchell. Let's see what UConn would do with it here. Demery has it. Demery, little flare screen to Mullins. Mullins, baseline drive, turnaround, mid-range. It's good. So Braylon Mullins off to a quick start on the offensive end. A couple of tough shots go down for the freshman. And we'll see how St. John's can respond. Bryce Hopkins on the drive, and it's blocked by Caravan, and he gets the ball. A great defense there by UConn. They hit him in transition. They're looking for Terrace Reed down low. They're going to get him the ball. With Ejiofor, Reed flips it up, and he is fouled. So that is going to be Zuby Ejiofor's second foul, unless they get the reach. But that is our first media timeout. UConn 10, St. John's 8. We'll be back after a short break. Alrighty, fellas, we are back from the first media timeout. It's 10-8 UConn. Terrace Reed will be going to the line for some more free throws. Uh, three. That is the seventh total foul in the game, so a lot of whistles so far. Um, and Terrace Reed will go to the line for his first free throw. He had a perfect game against Xavier on Tuesday, 14 points, 7 for 7 from the field, 8 rebounds, and he hits the first, make it 11-8. And the second free throw is no good. And it'll be Darling who brings it forward for St. John's. So he comes in off the bench. Ejiofor is out there. And they didn't get Ejiofor with that second foul. They got the reach. So nobody has 2 fouls yet. And we'll see what St. John's can do with it here. It's Sellers, free throw line, pull up, it's good. A little really, really tight pin down there for St. John's. Sellers comes around it, hits the jumper from the free throw line. Didn't look like he liked it when he let go of it because he immediately went to try and get the rebound, but it did go in. And Caravan just throws it out of bounds, looking for Mullins there on like a little flare screen, and he falls down. So that is a turnover for UConn. So Mullins still on Mitchell. See if they try and get him the ball. Ejiofor. Now it's Darling, the lefty, the transfer from Idaho State, has it. Now it's Hopkins. He's going to take a triple, and it's no good. Down the other way we go here with Demery. Silas Demery kicks it to Caravan for 3. It's good. So Silas Demery finds the wide open Caravan in transition, and he knocks down the 3, and it's 14-10 UConn. Really, really hard hedges here from UConn early on, making St. John's start their offense super far out. And Ejiofor trying it. And now it's Hopkins. Mitchell fires it to Sellers. Contested mid-range. That's off the mark. And Mullins hauls it in for UConn. It's Caravan. Now Terrace Reed again has the matchup on Mitchell. Couple pump fakes. He flips it up off the backboard and in. So Terrace Reed and UConn. Offense starting to click a little bit here as they take a 16-10 lead. And it's going to be a timeout here by St. John's. So Rick Pitino burning his first time out. Didn't like what he saw there. And St. John's takes a 16-10 lead. Don't know if they're going to go to commercial or not, so don't think we'll be taking a break here. Terrace Reed, the nice move there. He got the mismatch on Dylan Mitchell. He was able to convert from close range. Six, 5, and 5 points for Caravan, Reed, and Mullins so far for UConn. 6 points for Dylan Mitchell and 2 for Sellers and Jackson. 7 total fouls in this one. Nobody has gotten a second foul yet, though, which is big. In terms of three-pointers, UConn's 3 for 4. St. John's is 0 for 3 and 4 for 11 overall from the field, and UConn is 6 for 9 overall from the field. So UConn getting some good looks so far, and they're knocking them down. Looks like we have some new players into the game here for UConn. It's going to be the first rest for Terrace Reed, and we're going to see Eric Reeby for the first time. See what St. John's drew up in the timeout. And Darling is having some trouble just dribbling here with Demery. He fires it into Ejiofor. Ejiofor on Reeby. Ejiofor lays it up and in. So a really herky-jerky possession there from St. John's, but it does result in 2 points. Zuby Ejiofor with his first bucket of the game. And Demery now, they have Reba, and he loses it out of bounds. So a turnover there by UConn. Now they're showing the Ejiofor play. A really good finish there in traffic. Feels like Ejiofor is going to have to do a lot on offense here with how well the UConn guards are pressuring. And now Sellers has it, and here it is to Ejiofor again. They're clearing out this left side of the floor. Ejiofor, couple dribbles. Ejiofor is fouled. So Eric Reba just a step too slow here on a couple of these possessions. And, yep, had his arms down there. That is going to be a foul every single time. That's his first and the team's fourth. And now Zuby Ejiofor will go to the line for two. And the first one is good to make it 16-13. And the big man from Texas goes 2 for 2. So UConn or St. John's within 2 here, and they're going to pick up full court. And Malachi Smith is going to run the point now with Demery on the bench. And a little flare screen for the bottom for Ball. That's a 3. That's no good. And St. John's corrals the rebound. Here comes Oziah Sellers. And they're going to double Ejiofor immediately. This is a triple for me and Jackson, and that is good. From downtown. And, that's Josan Sanan, my bad. And he gives St. John's the lead 17-16. That is the first triple of the game for the Red Storm. See if St. John's can get after it defensively. That's a triple by Caravan, and that's short. Rebound by Sellers. St. John's looking to extend their lead here before the next media timeout. Mitchell driving, pulling up, no good. But Darling gets the rebound. Sellers is going to take a 3. It is no good after a couple bounces. And there's going to be a foul on the floor on UConn. So St. John's with some energy to get back into this one and take the lead. That's the under 12 media timeout. We'll be back after a short break. And we are back from the break. It's 17-16 St. John's here at the under 12 timeout in the first half. Right before the break, it was a loose ball foul on Eric Reba. That's his second of the half. So it was a quick break there by Terrace Reed. He's going to come back in and probably play a majority of the minutes here to end the first half. That is the fifth team foul on UConn already. So free throws probably going to play a pretty big role in this one. St. John's is 6 of 15 from the field. UConn 6 of 11. UConn has made 3 triples, 3 twos, and 1 free throw. And St. John's has made 5 twos, 1 triple, and 4 free throws. Now they're showing Dan Hurley in the huddle here. I have it on mute, so I cannot tell what he is saying, but sounded like they're good, but we are better. That's what it looked like he was mouthing there. So we'll have to see how they can respond here from getting punched in the mouth a little bit. There's been a lot of energy from St. John's. Can UConn match it? It'll be underneath for Dylan Mitchell. And a wide open slip to the basket, and Oziah Sellers slams it home. So a communication mistake there by UConn, and St. John's takes a 19-16 lead. Can't imagine that's what Dan Hurley had in mind at the timeout. We'll see how they can respond. It's still Malachi Smith with the ball, with Demery on the bench. They're looking to throw it into Terrace Reed. It's a really nice pass, and he is fouled. So the Michigan transfer will go to the line. That is just a really nice play there for St. John's that they showed on the replay. Now we're back to Terrace Reed at the line here. That is a foul on... See who they got the foul with there. That foul was on Dylan Darling. It is his first. And the first free throw is no good from Terrace Reed. That's actually Darling's second. So we won't see him much in the first half. And Terrace Reed avoids the empty trip. So 1 of 2 from the line makes it 19-17 St. John's. Mitchell doesn't pass it, just a nice quick move. And he hits the lefty floater to give St. John's a 21-17 lead. And a loose ball situation here, and it looks like they're going to get a foul on Josan Sanan. And this is just a simple, really good move here by Dylan Mitchell. Caravan had no chance after he hit him with the spin move. Yep, and they did call the foul on Josan Sanan there. So that is 5 fouls on both teams now. Just one more before we see some 1-and-1. See what UConn can do here in a short clock. Malachi Smith, he's got to do something with it here. The floater is no good. Rebound by Ejiofor. Here comes Jackson in transition. Ian Jackson blows the layup from short range. Now UConn has it. Now back the Huskies go, and oh my goodness, Terrace Reed nearly throws it out of bounds. And now Malachi Smith gets it poked free, and Jackson up to Dylan Mitchell. And it's Ejiofor who is fouled. So a crazy back and forth sequence there with a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed layups, and it results in Zuby Ejiofor going to the line for 2. This is going to be a foul on Malachi Smith. It was a pretty good one because this is a dunk for Ejiofor if he doesn't get that. So a good foul there by Malachi Smith. And now the starting point guard for UConn, Silas Demery, looks like he's going to check back in here. And Ejiofor, nothing but net on the first, makes it 22-17 St. John's. And Ejiofor goes 2 for 2. He gets the roll. So it is 23-17 St. John's here with just about a quarter of the game gone. 10 minutes remain in the first half. Now Ejiofor is going to take his first break of the game. It'll be Ruben Prey who comes in. And with Demery back in, we'll see what UConn can do. Demery puts his head down and takes it right to the rack for 2. So, UConn back within 4. UConn is just a little bit of a different profile offensively when Demery is running the point. And now we'll see what St. John's can do. Ian Jackson mid-range, and he doesn't take it, and then fires it at Dylan Mitchell, so that's a turnover. He probably should have just shot this, but now they're showing the Demery drive. He has that burst that I'm not sure anybody else on UConn has. And UConn has some trouble getting this ball, and they throw it up to Ross, but he makes the catch and hauls it in. And we'll see if UConn can try it again with Demery. It looks like they're going to try a two-man game with Terrace Reed. Demery, now Mullins, looking for Reed inside. The pass is there if he wants it. It's a loose ball. Caravan fires it to Ross in the corner. We got a short clock here. Ross, turnaround jumper is good. So a tough shot there by UConn to pull them within 2. And it's Jaden Ross with the contested fadeaway mid-range that he gets to go, and it's 23-21 St. John's. And Demery pokes it free, and Ian Jackson has to get it in the backcourt. Now it's Jackson on the drive, and they're going to call Demery with the block. He does not like that one. He's got to be careful. And that is going to be his first foul of the game. And it will be a 1-and-1 for Jackson, I believe, who was the one fouled. Yes, it will be Jackson. So 8:46 remaining in the first half at Madison Square Garden. And Jackson gets the bounce on the first free throw to make it 24-21. And Jackson makes it 25-21. So 2 for 2 for the North Carolina transfer. And St. John's is going to pick up full court here. Caravan has to throw it into Ross. And now they finally do get it to Demery. Now they're looking for a two-man game here with Demery and Reed. Demery, oh, nice shovel right to Terrace Reed, and he lays it in. So Silas Demery changing the profile of this one here with his ability to get to the rim. And he doesn't get the points for that one, but he might as well because it was an easy layup for Jaden Ross. Now on the other end here, St. John's looking for Prey inside. Sellers now backing off. Now it's Sanan for 3. In and out. No good. Here comes Demery and UConn. Demery on the drive. Demery gets it to Ross, who's going to shoot the 3. It's no good. Rebound by Hopkins. Here comes the Red Storm the other way. 3-on-2. Sellers from the corner. No good. Hurley is urging his team to slow it down here. And now Demery will walk it over the timeline. What can the Huskies do here? It's a little double stagger action. Down screen for Mullins. Braylon Mullins looking for something here. He's got Prey on him. He's going to take a contested triple, and it's good. Braylon Mullins from downtown, and now St. John's has the lead. And that is going to be the under 8 timeout. So back and forth we go at Madison Square Garden. It's UConn 26, St. John's 25. We'll be back after the break. And we are back from the under 8 media timeout. It's UConn 26, St. John's 25. They're showing some Braylon Mullins highlights here in this one. He is a freshman. Most likely his first and only season with UConn before he goes up to the association. Indiana, Mr. Basketball. And now they're showing his dad. Mullins was injured in the preseason, didn't really get to practice much, but he is really starting to come along as one of UConn's better players. And he's leading the way with Terrace Reed here with 8 points each. And now they're going to throw a little bit of this at St. John's, and they're going to pick up full court. So Hopkins will be the one to bring it forward for the Red Storm. The Providence transfer, and Kentucky for that matter. That's where he started his career. Now Leotopoulos has to come and get it. And a nice pass in there to Prey. Ruben Prey, spin move, lefty hook way off. Rebound by Demery. Here comes UConn. Ejiofor is at the scores table. He's going to come in at the next head ball for St. John's. Demery now looking. Demery to Mullins, to Stewart, Ross, Demery on the drive. Demery not on the same page with the alley-oop. Here comes St. John's. Hopkins now to the hoop. He is fouled. This will be on the floor, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Bryce Hopkins. That is going to be Jaden Ross's first foul. And Hopkins to the line here for a 1-and-1. And the front end is no good, so Terrace Reed gets the rebound. So a missed opportunity there for Hopkins and St. John's to flip the game to the other, or to flip the lead again, but they don't. St. John's have a lot of pressure here. Can they get that pass to Reed? Yes, they can. No, it's Ejiofor and Terrace Reed. The layup does not go. So now St. John's comes the other way here with Leotopoulos, and now Ejiofor, Hopkins on the drive, and they're going to get him with the offensive foul. So Jalen Stewart does a nice job there of moving his feet, and that is a foul on Bryce Hopkins. Going the other way. So not really materializing here offensively for Bryce Hopkins in this one. Obviously a lot of time left. But St. John's might have to look elsewhere here for some offense. And now Solo Ball is going to bring it forward for UConn. Now it's Demery and Reed, and now Ball, and they've trying to get it into Reed. And now they're not. Now it's Stewart backing down Leotopoulos, and Stewart loses it out of bounds. It'll be St. John's ball. So UConn leads 26-25, 5:32 remaining in the first half. A game that has gone back and forth here, with quite a lot of fouls and not a lot of offense so far, but still a long way to go. Now Ian Jackson looking for Ejiofor inside. He can't get it to him. Hopkins fires it to Jackson, and Jackson blows the wide open layup. That's the second one he's missed today. And now back down the other way for UConn here. Demery. And now they get Terrace Reed down low with Dylan Mitchell on him. Reed loses it out of bounds. Tries to face him up and take him baseline. And the ball doesn't come with him. So turnover for Terrace Reed and UConn. And back down the other way we go. 7 first half turnovers for UConn. See, where does St. John's go here? It's been a little bit of a stagnant stretch here for the Red Storm, and they get Hopkins wide open underneath, and he lays it in. So a nice play there, drawn up by Patino, and Hopkins gets his first basket of the game, and it's 27-26 St. John's. And they're emptying out this side of the floor for Demery. Now it's ball, middle ball screen. Solo Ball's going to take the three, and it's good. Nothing but net for Solo Ball. And UConn back in front, 29-27. Ejiofor looking to... Now it's Sinan for three. That is off. Rebound by Ball. So St. John's offensively going into a little bit of a skid here. Can UConn take advantage? Ball's picked up his dribble, and he has to find Demery. Demery probing. Demery to Terrace Reed, and Zuby pulls the chair out from under him. It's a turnover. Jackson on the drive, fires it out to Sinan for three. It's good. Josan Sinan from downtown gives St. John's the lead. So, Ian Jackson had another contested layup, and instead of missing it like he did the last few times, and now he gets a steal. Ian Jackson, Euro step off the window. It's good, and St. John's extends their lead. Catches Demery and me, for that matter, sleeping. But he did a really nice job of driving and kicking there on the triple, and then he defends his way into another layup. Dan Hurley calls a timeout. It's St. John's 32, UConn 29. This is the last media timeout of the first half. We'll be back after the break. We're back from the break. It's St. John's 32, UConn 29 with 2:52 remaining in the first half. It's been a game of momentum swings, just like every college basketball game. It was St. John's that jumped out to an early lead. UConn answered, and then St. John's with a little push of their own here. See who can end the half on the front foot. It's Demery who loses the ball, nearly falls down, and Ian Jackson commits the foul by trying to go after the ball. And this will be a one-on-one for Silas Demery. And that's Ian Jackson's second foul of the game, so he'll head to the bench for Oziah Sellers. And it is Silas Demery, the Georgia transfer, who will go to the line for a one-on-one. And the first one is good. Make it 32-30. And 2 for 2. So UConn within one here. Under 3 minutes remaining. See if St. John's can get Ejiofor a touch. It's Sanan and now Mitchell looking for Ejiofor inside. He throws the pass, and they're going to get Terrace Reed with the foul reaching across. He is not happy with it. His coach is not happy with it. And that'll be free throws for Zuby Ejiofor. And that'll be his second foul as well. So both UConn big men have 2 fouls here in the first half. One of them is going to have to play here to end the first half. I bet they go back to Reby. Dan Hurley did not like that call. You can clip that up and probably play it at a few different times in this stream. Dan Hurley doesn't like a lot of them calls. But Ejiofor, the first free throw, he gets the roll off the front rim and then the back rim. So Reed, and they're showing the foul back, and that is probably not a foul. And the second free throw is no good, and now they're going to call another foul on UConn on the floor. Dan Hurley is irate with the officials now. Certainly the Terrace Reed one was probably not a foul. This one, probably not a foul either, to be honest. And then Clemani Young is going to have to go get Dan Hurley here. So Hopkins makes the first. And now Stewart is in for Caravan, who they got that foul with. And Hopkins goes 2 for 2. So it's 35-31 UConn here. 2 minutes and change remaining in the first half. Demery guarded by Sellers. Demery on the drive. Demery, layup is no good. Rebound by Hopkins. Here comes St. John's. Hopkins on the drive. Hopkins. Layup is no good. Rebound going around, and it's to Solo Ball. UConn here in transition. Solo Ball to the hoop. It is no good, but Jalen Stewart tips it up and in. And UConn within 2. 35-33. Ejiofor, Sanan for 3. That's from way downtown. That's no good. Hopkins with the rebound. Hopkins makes the layup and the foul. So Bryce Hopkins with the hustle play. He corrals the rebound, gets it, lays it up and in, plus the foul. Just a really good hustle play there. Solo Ball out of position. Arms are down. And that is an and one for Bryce Hopkins. So, wasn't a great start to this game for Hopkins. The shot wasn't going down. He has basically efforted his way back into this game. And the free throw is off the back iron. And Stewart nearly coughed that one up out of bounds, but he saves it. And Demery brings it the other way. Demery. They have ball. Ball on the drive. Pump fake. Jump stop. Mid-range, it's good. So solo ball takes the matchup of Ruben Prey, and he pulls up right before the bucket, 4-2. We're nearing about a minute remaining here in the first half. What can St. John's get here? Oh, it's a pick six. Eric Reba, 4-2. So a mistake there by St. John's, and the UConn big man takes it the other way for two. Sellers now on the drive. Sellers hits the mid-range, and St. John's are back in front. Sellers really likes that mid-range. Have to wonder if UConn maybe switches up their defense, their ball screen defense a little bit out of the drop. Probably not. They might have to live with those mid-ranges. And now Hurley wants UConn to hold for, there's about 8 seconds in between the game and the shot clock here. So they're not going to hold for one, but they're going to be able to bring it down pretty close here. Now Demery. Demery beats Sellers. Demery lays it up and in. Tie game. 10 seconds left in the half here. Patino. Hopkins has it. Now it's Prey. Bryce Hopkins. Shake and bake. Hopkins kicks it to Sellers. Wide open three. It's in and out. No good. First half buzzer sounds. So a highly entertaining first half. It's St. John's 39, UConn 39. We will be back after the halftime break for the second half. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, fellas, we are back for the second half. It was all tied up at 39 after the first 20 minutes. A very even half with both teams committing a lot of fouls, getting a few players in foul trouble. Nobody over 8 points. Dylan Mitchell, Terrence Reed, and Braylon Mullins all with 8 points. UConn was 16 of 27 from the field, while St. John's was 13 of 31. So, a back and forth battle here, and that is what we are expecting here in the second half. It's a layup for Alex Caravan to start the second period, and UConn has the lead. Clearly a scripted play there out of the locker room, and it's an easy deuce for UConn. Now Ian Jackson slices his way to the hole and ties it up at 41. Demery breaks the press. All right, Demery just falls down here. This is going to be a jump ball. So the ball will go to St. John's with UConn controlling possession out of the locker room. Just a breakdown there defensively for UConn on their first possession of the second half. And Ian Jackson responded with a layup of his own. Now St. John's can take the lead here with a basket. Hopkins, and it's a wide open Ejiofor, and he slams it home. So just one field goal for Zuby Ejiofor in the first half. Did have a bunch of free throws. That is his 8th and 9th points of the ball game, and St. John's takes the lead. $18:30 remaining. Demery, now Mullins. Shot is blocked by Ejiofor, but he steps on the line on the way down. So, well defended there by the St. John's big man. And UConn will have it side out. Demery and Reed in exchange, and it's blocked by Ejiofor, but they're going to get him with the foul. His hand may have been in the cookie jar before the shot attempt, and it is going to be a foul on Zuby Ejiofor. And Silas Demery will be going to the line for 2. Ugh. Yawning a lot today. All right, well, Demery, the free throw gets the roll to bring UConn within 1. And the second free throw is no good. And it's Sellers who gets the rebound. Now Darling on the drive. Dylan Darling takes it all the way to the hoop for 2. So UConn never stops the ball on the ball screen. And Dylan Darling takes it all the way to the hoop for 2. St. John's in their full court press. And they get it into Demery. UConn. So they're going to go with the double stagger here. Demery doesn't get much of a change of matchup here. Demery on the crossover. Demery to the hoop. He lays it up. It's no good. Hopkins with the rebound. Ball's on the floor. Hopkins corrals it. St. John's comes the other way. Dylan Darling, who scored a lot of points at Idaho State last year. Sellers is going to take the long 2. It's off. So Demery will bring it up for UConn. Double stagger again here. Little pick and replace. Caravan wanted to shoot it. He pump faked. Now it's solo ball. He'll take the triple, and it's pure. Solo ball from downtown, and we are tied at 45. Mitchell driving on Mullins. He is fouled. So back to that Mullins on Mitchell matchup for St. John's, and it'll be 2 free throws for Dylan Mitchell. Looking to give St. John's back the lead, and the first one is way short. That is an air ball. Not even close. That is one of the worst free throws that I have ever seen. And Dylan Mitchell's not a bad free throw shooter either. Wow. And he does better on the second one as it finds the bottom of the net. And it's 46-45. Demery brings it forward, guarded by Darling for St. John's. And good ball pressure here by St. John's. UConn having to start their offense pretty far out. They do get it down to Terrace. It's the double team. Now Mullins from the corner. It's no good, and rebounded by Ejiofor. Hopkins in transition. Gets it up to Sellers. Ball blocks it out of bounds. So nice transition defense there by Solo Ball to save his team a couple of points. He goes up with Osiah Sellers here vertical. He stops him, and then he completes the block without committing the foul. That is textbook shot blocking right there. Now it'll be a blob for St. John's. See what they can come up with here. They want to get it inside to Dylan Mitchell, and Mullins is going to be called for the foul, reaching around on the entry pass. Well, Hurley doesn't like that one. And that is the second foul on UConn in the second half. That is also Mullins' second of the second half. Now another blob for St. John's, and they get Zuby here. Nope, they go down to Mitchell here, one-on-one. And it's turned over. Nice defense there by UConn on the double team. Demery brings it across. Demery, head down. Darling goes down, and it's an offensive foul. So Demery commits the offensive foul, and we're going the other way. That is pretty good guarding there by Darling, but not sure that he really extended enough for that to be an offensive foul. That probably would have been a no call for me. Because I don't think it was a block either, but unfortunate there for UConn. That is their 10th turnover of the ball game, and St. John's will bring it forward here. We are under 16 minutes, so the next whistle will be the media timeout. You got Darling now coming to get it for St. John's. Dylan Darling on the drive, fires it over to Hopkins. Hopkins drives, and he flips it up and in. Bryce Hopkins converts to give St. John's a 48-45 lead. The Red Storm in full court press, fires it into Solo Ball just in time to avoid the 5-second call. And now Malachi Smith just gets it across in time to avoid the 10-second. See who UConn tries to go to here. It's Caravan. Now it's Terrace Reed way outside the three-point line. Now it's Malachi Smith. Malachi Smith throws it up to Terrace Reed, and he can't lay it up and in on the alley-oop attempt. Mitchell coming the other way here for St. John's. Mitchell tucks and lays it up. It's no good, but Ejiofor gets the rebound and finishes it. So Zuby, Ejiofor, another field goal, and it's knocked out of bounds by St. John's. And it will go back to UConn here. Darling wanted a challenge, and Rick Pitino immediately shut him down. But defense turning into offense here for St. John's. It's Red Storm 50, Huskies 45 at the first media timeout here in the second half. We'll be back after the break. And we are back here. 14:52 remaining in the second half. It's 50-45 St. John's. The Red Storm looking to pick up their biggest win of the season against number 3 UConn. But the Huskies are not done yet. Mullins now in the corner. And to Terrace nearly turns it over. Terrace Reed hits the deck here, and they're going to call a foul on St. John's. So an unfortunate turn of events there for St. John's. And that's going to be a foul on Dylan Mitchell. Now Malachi Smith will get it for UConn. And now Malachi Smith, Darling, with some good ball pressure defense here. Smith still hasn't passed it. We're under 7 seconds left. Smith to the hoop. It's blocked by Ejiofor. Rebound by Dylan Mitchell. And they're going to call a jump ball here. And that'll keep the ball with UConn. So a nice help side defense there by Zuby Ejiofor to get the block. And Dylan Mitchell unable to get it out of there before UConn can tie it up. So St. John's defensively was always going to come and play. It has been their offense this year that has cost them their, where they were supposed to be preseason number 5. The inbounds pass is picked off by Ejiofor. So another turnover from UConn. It's getting to be a little bit of a problem here. St. John's now down the other way. What can they do with this? Ejiofor, top of the key. Looking for Sellers. Ejiofor going to take it himself here. Ejiofor on the drive. Pump fake. Pump fake again. Flips it up way off. A lot of contact there. He wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. Down comes Demery and UConn. Trailing by 5. Dylan Darling steals it from him. Darling gets it to Sellers. Osiah Sellers goes up, and he is fouled by Braylon Mullins. So Dylan Darling with a steal at the top of the key. Gets on the floor. He finds a teammate. And Osiah Sellers will be going to the line for 2. That's Braylon Mullins' third foul of the game. Yep, Demery just not really paying attention there. Darling makes him pay. Sellers gets it, and then Mullins does go for, the ball. He does foul him, but probably a good one because it was going to be a dunk for Osiah Sellers. So 50-45 here, St. John's. Sellers to the line for 2. And he makes the first. It just seems like this might be danger zone a little bit here for UConn. They're really turning over the ball a lot. St. John's not always making them pay, but they have recently here. Sellers, 2 for 2. And UConn and St. John's leads by 7. 52-45 Red Storm with 13 and a half minutes remaining in the second half. It is St. John's largest lead of the game. It's been 3+ minutes without a point for UConn. They're going to go to Demery. Now flare screen for Ball. Solo Ball. Shake and bake. He's going to take the triple. It's short. Hopkins can't get the rebound. It's Demery. Now Mullins pump fake from the corner. Air ball. Ejiofor with the rebound. Mitchell looking the other way. Now it's Sellers. Osiah Sellers. Now it's Ejiofor. Gets it to Hopkins. Hopkins, they're sitting behind him. He's going to take the triple, and it's good. Bryce Hopkins from downtown, and St. John's has a 10-point lead. The Garden is on their feet as the Red Storm have taken this one, and Demery gets it across the timeline and calls a timeout. St. John's 55, UConn 45. We will be back after the break. And we are back from the first called timeout, media timeout of the second half. It's St. John's 55, UConn 45 here with 12:46 remaining at Madison Square Garden. It's a 16-6 start to the second half for the Red Storm. It's been over 4 minutes since UConn has had a point. What can Dan Hurley get out of his team here? It's a double pin down action. Now Demery has it back again. Demery slicing to the hoop. Demery fires it out to Ball. Ball, end of the shot clock. He's going to have to put it up. He gets it to Terrace Reed wide open, and he just gets it off in front of the shot clock. But it's Terrace Reed from close range to get a much-needed field goal for UConn. So that makes it 55-47. St. John's defended well there for the whole clock, or almost all of the clock, but Terrace Reed able to convert. Darling now high hedge. Now it's Ejiofor at the high post, waiting for Terrace Reed. He turns and misses the short hook shot. So UConn get a stop, or a bucket and a stop. Can they get another bucket? Demery now with Darling on him. He's looking for Caravan. He gets it to him now. They're going to look for Terrace. He won't throw it. Now back to Demery. Demery driving. Demery gets it to Stewart. Now Caravan, pump fake. Caravan drives the floater. It's good. Alex Caravan hits the floater, and UConn are within 6. 11 minutes and change remaining left in this one. A nice response out of the timeout for UConn. Now it's Sellers on the drive. He pump fakes. Picks it up. Ejiofor is going to take the triple. It's good. Zuby Ejiofor from downtown. And St. John's extends their lead back out to 9. That is just a momentum killer there. Ooh, Demery gets Darling to fall to the floor. Demery puts his head down. Kicks it to Stewart. Jalen Stewart shovels it to Terrace Reed. And he can't make the and one. He is fouled. He will go to the line for 2. But a great chance there for an and one does not fall. So St. John's have taken the lead. UConn showing some fight. This is the under 12 timeout. St. John's 58, UConn 49. We'll be back after the break. And we are back from break here. It's the under 12 timeout at St. John's 58, UConn 49, 10:45 remaining in this one. It has been a pretty balanced attack from just about everybody. Ejiofor and Hopkins with 14 and 11 for UConn, Caravan and Reed with 10 each, Ball and Mullins with 8 each for UConn. Despite how many fouls there have been in this one, just about everybody has 2 fouls. Braylon Mullins has 3. Nobody else in the entire game has 3. But just about everybody has 2. So foul trouble, not something that is of concern yet. Just 7 combined fouls in the first part of the second half here. So free throws not quite coming up soon, unless, of course, it is a shooting foul. So it will be Terrace Reed who's going to the stripe today for this one. And he is 2 for 4 on the game. And that is way off. So no good there by Terrace. And he will look to make the second one to avoid an empty trip. And Terrace Reed does miss both. So what was nearly an and one, if not for a couple of unlucky bounces on the rim, is an empty trip for UConn. They cannot be affording those if they want to come back in this one. Jackson flips it open to Mitchell. Now it's Ejiofor. They get him on the block. They like this matchup. Ejiofor pump fakes, keeps a pivot foot, turns around, and it's good. Zuby Ejiofor from 4 feet with the baby hook, and St. John's is up by 11. Demery now for UConn. What can the Huskies draw up? Short roll situation to Terrace Reed. Kicks it to Caravan. Pump fake. Caravan all the way to the hoop. He lays it up and in. So Alex Caravan gets the deuce. And they're back within 9. Sellers now to Ian Jackson for 3. No good. Rebound by Stewart, and UConn coming the other way. Jackson chasing around Demery. Now it's Caravan, and it's Reed on a wide open slip, and he slams it home. So Alex Caravan, known sharpshooter, using a couple of his other skills there, the pump fake, the slip, and the drive, and there he hits his passing ability to find a wide open Terrace Reed. So UConn within 7 here, and it's a turnover. Demery, one-on-one with Ian Jackson. Demery takes it to the hoop, and he lays it in. Just like that, we're down to 5. Silas Demery with what was essentially a pick 6, and UConn are within 5, and Rick Pitino is sensing a little bit of change of momentum here, and he is going to call a timeout. Just a simple pass there to Ejiofor is off target. And Demery takes it the other way. Ian Jackson just not wanting to foul there. Turnovers have been a big part of this game, with both teams committing quite a few. It is 12 turnovers on UConn and 8 on St. John's. Tomorrow's game on Fox will be Illinois going to the Breslin Center to play Michigan State. Spartans on a 2-game losing streak in Illinois, looking to take control of the Big Ten. We are going to be streaming another game tomorrow. That is TBD, which game that'll be. And then we will be doing Ohio State hosting Michigan on Sunday. There's a chance that we do Illinois, Michigan State. There's a chance we do one of the other Big 12 games, but all right, so Dylan Darling brings it forward here from St. John's. We've got 8:50 remaining here in this one. The Red Storm leads 60-55. Can they respond to this latest push from UConn? It's Sanan who comes and gets it on a curl. Josan Sanan takes it to the hoop, and it's taken away by Demery. So a nice strip there by Demery, and here comes UConn. Caravan wants to triple, pump fake, drive. Caravan turns, and he fires it up, no good. But Terrace Reed gets the rebound. Reed one-on-one with Ejiofor. Reed drop step, flips it up, no good. Dylan Mitchell gets the rebound, and St. John's will bring it up the floor. Ejiofor one-on-one with Terrace Reed, and they're going to clear this thing out for him. Zuby faces him up, kicks it out to a wide-open Darling, and the lefty takes the three. It's no good. Mullins takes it the other way for UConn. Transition's not really on here, and they're going to pull it out. Demery has it now with a high ball screen from Terrace. Demery has the defender on his back, and they're going to get Dylan Darling with the foul. That is his third and just the team's fourth of the second half. So it's St. John's 60, UConn 55 here at the under 8 timeout in the second half. We'll be back after the break. And we are back. St. John's leads 60-55 over UConn at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. This has been every bit of the game that it was hyped up to be. We got number 1 versus number 2 here in the Big East. And St. John's has given them everything that they can handle. St. John's opened up the 11-point lead. UConn responded with a little bit of a 6-0 run of their own here. This one is going to be going down to the stretch. Foul trouble, not an immediate concern. Like I said earlier, nobody with 4. Just even a few players with 3. Most players still with 2. And they're showing the huddle with Rick Pitino here. He just called a timeout a few plays ago. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, and in here it is a slob for UConn, and now Braylon Mullins will have it. Can UConn bring it within 1 possession here? And it's a pick 6 for Dylan Mitchell. And he slams it home. So the entry pass to Caravan is poked free by Mitchell, and it's the easiest 2 points he's going to have all night. Not what UConn wanted. There's a chance they could stretch it to a one-possession game, and now it's 7 just like that. Demery now. Demery to the hoop. Silas Demery punches it home. My goodness, what a dunk there by Silas Demery. And UConn back within 5. And referees are going to stop the game here, but now they're showing the Dylan Mitchell dunk. Nice play there by him. And now Silas Demery here takes this thing right at Zuby Ejiofor and punches it down. Maybe they're telling Demery, talking a little bit of trash there after the basket. Maybe that was a little bit of a warning there. But it's just St. John's out of bounds. UConn seems to be switching everything not involving Ejiofor. Darling now on the high hedge. It's Sanan from the corner. No good. And it's Reed with the rebound, but it's going to be a loose ball foul on Terrace Reed. He did sort of throw an arm at Zuby there. Dan Hurley not happy, as you can probably imagine. 6:44 remaining. It's St. John's 62, UConn 57. And it's a blob for St. John's. Dylan Mitchell having trouble throwing this one in. It's a turnover. Braylon Mullins bringing it the other way for UConn. Braylon Mullins gets the handoff. Pump fake. Flips it to Caravan. And they're looking for Terrace inside, but he's not going to get it. Now it's Demery. Now it's Caravan. Wide open triple from the top of the key. It's good. Alex Caravan silences the crowd at the Garden, and the Huskies are within 2. 7 of 15 from behind the arc for the Huskies tonight. Just 4 of 17 for St. John's. Now it's Darling on the curl. Takes the mid-range from the free throw line. It's good. Even with the double clutch, the Idaho State transfer knocks it home. 64-62, St. John's. Under 6 minutes remaining. Dan Hurley urging his team to get into their offense a little bit quicker here. Caravan on the dribble handoff, and they're going to call a foul here on Mitchell. They're showing this Demery dunk earlier. My goodness, what a play that was. And now they overhelp on the next play, and it's Caravan who hits the wide open triple from the top of the key. And then it's Dylan Darling who's able to convert the jumper despite the double clutch. So not quite free throws yet here for UConn, just the 5th foul on St. John's. And a couple of substitutions on either side. And UConn can bring it back within 1 or 2 with a bucket here. Down 4. It's Mullins now with a couple of screens. Now it's Caravan. They're looking inside to Terrace Reed. Terrace Reed catches it, stays in bounds, kicks it to Demery from the corner. It's pure. Silas Demery from downtown. And UConn are within 1. Great play there by Terrace Reed to not only catch that ball, but to stay in bounds and to find a shooter. And Reed pokes it free, but Sanan gets it back here. And Darling wants it, and they're going to set up a new play. It's a short clock. Darling dribbles. Darling to the hoop. He is fouled. Great play there by Terrace Reed. Demery, not like a sharpshooter from downtown. He's certainly a threat, more of a driving threat, but he can make an open 3, and that's what that was. Doesn't take a lot of them. But now it's Dylan Darling, 70% from the line on the season for 2 here for St. John's. Has not taken a free throw yet tonight, and he gets the roll on the first one. Make it 65-63. And Darling, can he go 2 for 2? The answer is yes. So 2 for 2 for Darling, and St. John's extends their lead to 3. The Red Storm are in the full court press, and they get it in just in time. Terrace Reed really having to come outside the three-point line to get it here. Now it's solo ball guarded by Josan Sanan. And now it's back to Demery here. Sort of a side pick and roll. They're switching it. Now they're not switching it. And a little bit of a miscommunication. Demery blow by to the hoop for two. So just a half second of hesitation there from the St. John's defense. Demery, that's all he needed to get to the hoop for two. UConn within one. St. John's leads by one with the ball here. We're under 5 minutes. Ejiofor on the turn. He is fouled by Terrace Reed. Reed, a lot of contact there. He does block it clean up top, but a lot of contact on the ground. And it'll be 2 free throws for Zuby Ejiofor. Dan Hurley shaking his head about that foul call. There was a lot of contact before even the shot attempt. But it's 16, 9, and 6 for Ejiofor today. And the first free throw is off. So no good there by Ejiofor. That is Terrace Reed's 4th foul of the ball game. They're going to probably try and hold him until at least to the last media timeout. But Ejiofor's second here is just under 70% on the year, 5 for 7 on the day. And this one gets a nice roll off the back iron. So 1 for 2 for Ejiofor. And it is 67-65 here. 4:26 remaining in the second half. Demery brings it forward for UConn. Caravan has it. Now it's back to Demery. Now it's solo ball. Solo ball trying to shake and bake. Not quite doing it. Caravan, ball fake. Caravan on the drive. Caravan, no good. Rebound by Hopkins and a foul on UConn. Hurley beside himself that this was not called on a foul was called on Caravan's drive here. And then a frustration foul where they pick it up on Hopkins. Caravan gets whistled for the foul. Hopkins to the line for a 1-and-1. And he misses the front end. But it's Ejiofor who gets the rebound. And he nearly travels. And then he takes it to the hoop again. It's Mitchell who lays it in for 2. So St. John's get the 2 points. That drive, and they are up by 4. Under 4 minutes to go. And they're going to call Hopkins on the bump outside the 3-point line. That is the 6th foul on St. John's. So 1 more, and they'll be shooting free throws. That means it's time for the under 4 timeout in the second half. St. John's leads 69-65. We'll be back after a short break. And we are back from the final media timeout. I have put the last media timeout, or a rough estimate of the time remaining there under the second half. It's the under 4 timeout. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this one. The last one was pretty popular. It looks like this one might get to those same numbers. I'd like to ask all of you to please like and subscribe to the channel, like the stream. We work really hard, and we would love it if you could just do that. Take a couple seconds out of your day to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. And this one has definitely not disappointed. Both teams have come ready to play. A few mistakes here and there with some turnovers, but they're providing a lot of entertainment for us here on Friday night. It is after 10 p.m. Eastern, and it's UConn who have the ball underneath, down 4, with a chance to bring it within one possession. Demery beats him off the dribble. Silas Demery, layup is no good, but Caravan gets the rebound, and he lays it in. So Johnny on the spot there, Alex Caravan, bails out his guard who missed the layup and gets UConn to the magic number of 67. 3:23 remaining in this one. Dylan Mitchell's going to come and get it. Now it's Darling again. Double stagger. Darling, step back, triple. It's good. Dylan Darling from downtown. And St. John's have a 5-point lead. Big time triple there from the lefty to extend the lead out to 5. Now Demery gets the switch on Hopkins. Demery, dribble drive. Demery loses control of it, and it's St. John's ball. That is definitely off of Demery here. So a huge triple and a huge stop there by the Red Storm. Not much was happening there, that possession for St. John's, and Dylan Darling said, how about this? A step back triple right in your face. And St. John's leads by 5. We're under 3 minutes here. Still plenty of time left. But it probably starts with the stop here from UConn. What does St. John's go to here? It looks like it's going to be Darling again. He gets a ball screen. He refuses it. Now he drives. Now he spins around. Now he gets it to Ejiofor. Down low, Zuby. Short pull-up. It's good. So the baby hook by Zuby Ejiofor gives St. John's a 7-point lead. When Ejiofor gets positioned down low, it's almost impossible to stop him. Demery throws it to Reed, who kicks it out to Mullins for 3. It's pure. Braylon Mullins from downtown, and we're not done yet. Dan Hurley uses a timeout. St. John's 74, UConn 70, with exactly 2 minutes remaining. That would have been a big miss there if that had not gone in from Mullins, but he gets it to go, and there's still plenty of time remaining. Ejiofor over that left shoulder with that baby hook. About as a sure thing as you can get in college basketball. If he gets deep enough down low. Ejiofor is up to 19 points on the game. Mitchell with 13, Hopkins with 11. And then on the UConn side of things, it's Caravan leading the way with 17, Demery with 16, Reed with 12, Mullins with 11. Zuby Ejiofor is on triple-double watch all of a sudden. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. And he also has 3 blocks on top of it. Zuby Ejiofor has been the best player on St. John's this year, averaging 15.7 points and almost 8 rebounds a game with 3 assists and 2 blocks also. He is 52% from the field. They needed him to perform tonight for a chance to win, and he's put them in a good spot, but still a lot of time left. The fans at MSG are on their feet here, trying to will their team across the line. And UConn, just a little bit of token pressure here. No traps or anything. We're not to that point yet. And Sinan is on the floor for St. John's. He's been off the floor for a little bit. And they get Zuby to face up here on the three-point line. Double stagger for Sinan. He's going to take the triple. It's short. But the tip is up and in by Dylan Mitchell. Excellent hand-eye coordination to tip that up and in. Looked like he wasn't even going to get the rebound, and he tips it up 4-2. So it's 76-70 here with just about a minute and a half remaining. UConn don't need a three, but they need a quick bucket. Demery goes right past Darling, and he lays it up and in, and the foul. So Silas, Demery, and UConn not going away just yet. And you can see Rick Pitino there screaming, let him go. There's no point really to try and commit the foul. He's already beat you. He's going to score. So a little bit of a mistake there by St. John's. Can Demery take advantage? No. And the free throws missed. And the UConn staff wanted a violation there. They might have a point. But just 5 for 11 on the day for UConn. Drive and kick, Ejiofor, pump fake. Now it's over to Hopkins. Hopkins trying to drive Karaban on the spin. Hopkins is fouled by Alex Karaban. So a nice move there by Hopkins. And yep, there's a lot of contact there, and he hits him on the arm. That is definitely a foul on Alex Karaban. And Hopkins will go to the line for 2. Still cannot make it a 3-possession game, and the first free throw is no good. So St. John's and UConn both leaving some valuable points here on the free throw line. So Hopkins is 2 for 6 from the free throw line tonight, including 2 missed front end of the 1-and-1. And this one rolls in for Hopkins. So it's 77-72 here. We are under a minute remaining. And Demery has to throw it in, and it's picked off by Sellers. A crucial turnover there by UConn, and they're going to have to commit the foul. So a big-time mistake there by the Huskies. Demery had nowhere to go with it. It was going to be a 5-second call, and he just throws it in right to Sellers. And then Ball has to commit the foul for UConn. That is the 15th turnover of the ball game for UConn. That is something that is definitely going to be the story behind this one if St. John's can get across the line and Sellers misses the first one. So St. John's has probably had an opportunity to close this game by now, but they're missing some free throws, and Sellers misses the second one also. So UConn not dead yet, only down 5 here with under 50 seconds remaining. Demery on the drive, and he's going to be fouled out by the 3-point line. So Ejiofor with the blocking foul. The UConn coaches were absolutely begging for the call there, and they get it. So it's a 1-and-1 for Silas Demery. UConn bringing in a couple of new players. Probably don't want to have one of your stars give a foul and potentially foul themselves out of this one. Yeah, so Karaban and Reed both with 4. They come off the floor because after these Karaban's still on the floor, but Reed is off. We're going to have to foul, and Demery cannot make the front end of the 1-and-1. Hopkins with the rebound, and Karaban commits the foul, and that is going to be it for him. So both teams really shooting the ball poorly from the free throw line. UConn is 5 for 12. That's 42%. And St. John's is just 20 of 29, which is 69%. That's not very good either. So, potential storyline here. Missed free throws and turnovers. And Bryce Hopkins to the line for 2, and he gets the roll on the first. So 78 to 72. 44.3 remaining. Both teams do have their challenge remaining, which could really make the end of this game quite long if they do use it. And Hopkins makes the second one as well. So St. John's back up by 7 here. 43 seconds remaining. UConn staring their second loss of the season in the face unless they could pull something crazy off here. Demery is going to take the triple, and it's an air ball. 32 seconds remaining, and you can start to sense it at MSG. Rick Pitino and St. John's on the verge of a resume victory right here. And, speaking of, UConn might be challenging this one to see if the shot was maybe tipped on the way through. But St. John's fans don't care. They are reveling in what is about to become official in about 30 seconds. St. John's came into the season with all the preseason expectations. They were ranked 5th in the opening AP poll. Us here at Sports Daily, Mike and I, we did think that this was probably a little bit overrated, but that they were still a pretty solid team. Well, things didn't exactly pan out for them in the non-conference. They lost to some really good teams. They didn't really pick up that resume-defining victory. And when it became clear what the status of the Big East was, it was very clear that if they wanted that resume-building victory, it was probably going to come against UConn. And they've got a great chance to finish the job here. They're up 7 with 32 seconds remaining, and they're probably going to get the ball. Up for them next, they welcome in Xavier before going up to Providence and Marquette before hosting Creighton. And then the return game of this will be in stores on February 25th. UConn's only previous loss this year was at the hands of the number 1 team in the country, Arizona, when they came to stores in the end of November, maybe? Yep, the end of November. UConn was without Braylon Mullins and Terrace Reed that game, and they really competed. That was honestly not a bad performance from them, really. But they have won quite a few games since then. They absolutely crushed Illinois, who is one of the best teams in the country right now. They went on the road to the Fog and beat Kansas. They beat Florida. They beat Texas. And then they have beaten everybody that they have played in the Big East until today. They have stuck with the original call on the floor, and they flip it into Ejiofor, and they foul him. So it's still 28 seconds remaining. Zuby Ejiofor, his first year at St. John's, was the deputy to Joel Soriano, one of the holdovers from the Mike Anderson era. And last year he really stepped into his own as one of the best big men in the Big East, and this year he has continued that as he makes the first free throw. And Ejiofor goes 2 for 2, and St. John's is up by 9 here with 28 seconds remaining. And Rick Pitino is going to call a timeout. Completely unnecessary. They're going to be giving the player of the game to, very unsurprisingly, Zuby Ejiofor. One of his best performances as a St. John's Red Storm. And he's had quite a few really nice games. 21, 10, and 7 as it currently stands with 28 seconds left here. We will be back tomorrow. If this is anybody's first time to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. The game tomorrow that I will be doing is still TBD. Probably going to be one of the later ones. And then Sunday we'll be doing Ohio State and Michigan. And Braylon Mullins takes a triple from the corner. It's no good. And it looks like Dan Hurley is going to call off the Dogs. St. John's picks up what is their signature victory of the season, 81-72 over the previously undefeated in the Big East UConn Huskies. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.